Thursday. Got a big biz op meeting tonight with McGuire and Nick. It's going to be awesome. So don't forget that between now and tonight. But in the meantime, let's start talking some pay pro tips here. All right. David Rutz here, David Allen Capital. If this is your first pro tip Zoom with us, welcome. We do these every day, 11:30 a.m. And we are here to take your questions as well. But I've got a short little clip for you today that I think can be very helpful. Something I'm going to do that I haven't done yet. And I've done it for other products, but I've not done it for this product. So I'll be doing this. And I made this little outline for myself. And so I'm going to share it with you. And what this is the idea of using your social media and using your social media platforms to have your own commercial. And so what we are going to do is we're going to encourage you to go to your smartphone and record a little dual pricing video under a minute long, under a minute. I've got some slides here on what the key points should be in that. Now, we could give you a script, but everyone will say the same thing. And you don't need to say the same thing, but you do want to cover a few bullet points to make sure you've educated business owners and appealed to their story, framed it the right way. So we're going to encourage you all to do this. I want to say this, someone who's in our top 5 recruiters this month is not actively building our business, but has videos still actively being played and was in the top 10 recruiters from videos she posted over 3 years ago and gets clients every month from videos posted over 3 years ago on Facebook. She's not paying for ads. She doesn't have a branded YouTube page. She just has some old videos that keep getting a lot of plays because people watch them and share them and like them and watch them and share them and like them, right? It's not a lot of people competing in this space, guys. So I'm going to encourage you all to do this video. I'm going to share my screen because I've got a little overview of what I think you should cover. Tell me, do you see my screen? Does it say video idea?
Yes.
Yep, we see it.
Okay, cool. Facebook, remember there was a time, guys, I'd have to share my whole desktop. I couldn't share just my Keynote screen and it wasn't working. Well, now I'm just clicking the Keynote screen and it is showing it. I have to worry about my whole desktop being shared, which is good. But let's see if the screens advance because last times they didn't. Did the screen just advance?
Nope.
Okay, well, there's the problem. So let me escape out of this for a minute. So I'm got a new slide up. This is the problem we had last time. So bear with me 1 minute. I got to stop sharing. And I wanted to test this before with all of you. So let me do this one more time. Let me go into my Zoom room. Let me hit share screen. I will choose the desktop this time. And now you're seeing everything, right? And let's go to that. Tell me if you're seeing video idea.
We see it.
Okay, cool. Now tell me if the first screen says profit versus savings.
We see that.
Okay, cool. Beautiful. All right. So guys, when you're talking about this, when you're talking about dual pricing, and hang on 1 minute. I think I got, okay, this is the first screen. Sorry. I knew this was, that wasn't the first point, wasn't profit. So the first point you're going to talk about is dual pricing. You're going to educate. So you want to start your video basically saying, hey, I want to just talk to you all about dual price. I'm in dual pricing now. I'm in payment processing. We're in funding. We're also in payment processing. What is dual pricing and why can it help you as a business owner? And you want to mention these points here any way you want to. It's where the cardholder pays your fees. You don't have to anymore. It's fully compliant now when it's done right. Right? So these are the points. You then also want to talk about profit versus savings. You want to frame this right. The reason why is value of profit is greater than the value of savings. I know they should be the same, but the reality is if I said to you with your job, I can get you a $10,000 annual raise, you're going, really? And if I say I can save you $10,000 a year on your mortgage, the savings is good, but making 10,000 more feels differently, right? So it's framing a value, the high-end value rather than a potential savings because savings isn't always felt. Profit is. Profit equals more money take home to the business owner. Most business owners are extremely profit sensitive. Not all of them are cost sensitive. Most business owners, unfortunately, aren't cost sensitive. So you would think they would be, but your car payment is, let's say it's 450 a month, probably could have been 420. But most people are so excited about the car, they just want to be in the car. They're excited about the value of the vehicle, not how they can save $10 more a month, $20 a month on it, shopping around at 20 dealerships, right? So leading with profit, framing profit is a big thing. Knowing, you don't have to say this in the video, but knowing 6 out of 10 businesses are breaking even or losing money, profit is huge to them. Increase your profit. So it's not just about savings, it's about adding real profit to your family. The average client gains 12 to 30,000 more per year in profit. Okay. Handling customer concerns. One of the things every business owner who's not already on this has said that I've talked about this 100%. I just don't know if my customers will be okay with it. So say right in the video. And the best thing about this is our customers are completely okay with it. We've been doing it at gas stations forever. Nobody goes in and pays cash unless they want a coffee or something. They all pay at the pump and they gladly pay a higher price at the pump. No one even thinks about this stuff. But if you're considering, I know you feel, I felt the same way. But what we found was that's where the feel, felt, found comes in. And our payment processing scripts covers all this. If you need language to say, but the point is, you need to mention it in the video. You also got to mention compliance and setup because some people are going, yeah, that sounds great, but is it compliant? What's the changeover costs? And the great news is we handle all that for you. Okay, so those points right there need to be mentioned. We're compliant in every state. Some people are providing things that aren't compliant in different states. You can't just add a fee to your checkout line items. It's called surcharging. You can't do that in most states, and you certainly can't do that with a debit card. So we're not going to do anything that puts you at risk. And then comparison framing. You're likely one of the last paying these fees. Most people have already experienced this as customers. Most of you have. I have. I look at the receipts all the time, and it's about 1 out of 10 times now. Usually more because I go to the same places usually, and I know which ones are already using it. But the point of the matter is you want to show this. Now, I like to use, and I didn't put it on here, the Canadian conversion capital. We live in Detroit area, so businesses in Detroit, they've got Canadian currency a lot, checking in, people using it. They don't take a dollar for a dollar. Canadian currency is worth less. And if you go to another country and you're using a US dollar, it's not a dollar, right? It's either more or less, depending upon where you go. They convert it because a dollar is not a dollar. Well, guess what? A credit card dollar is not a dollar. Someone uses a card, it's only 97 cents. It's not a dollar. So wouldn't they, if they gave them Canadian cash, if you're selling a dollar, Morgan got me this mug, get after it. Thank you, Morgan. I read it all the time. It's good hot coffee too. This was more than a dollar. Let's say this was a $10 mug. And you come in and I have $10 US cash, someone else has $10 Canadian, which is only worth about 7. Are you going to let them have it for $10 Canadian? No, it's not $10. And nobody thinks twice about that. So I like to use this story here in Michigan that it's like foreign currency. A credit card purchase is not the same as cash. First of all, you don't get the money for 2 days, sometimes next day, but usually 2 days. And you also get 97 cents on the dollar. You're not getting full dollars. So why not charge them $1.04 so you actually get the dollar? As it is, you don't get the money for 2 days, but at least get a full dollar for the dollar mug. Cash is a dollar, then it needs to be $1.04 card. It's really simple. And nobody balks at that. So for the logic person, they like that analogy. For the emotional person, I'm worried about my customers. We've already did that, feel, felt, found. And this is the comparison framing so that you don't have them realizing the competitors are putting this money to work. Their businesses are 4% more efficient. That's comparison framing right there. Have a competitive advantage, charge these fees. Okay. And then you want to end with a call to action. We can run some numbers for you, no pressure. We can upload your statements, get you all your potential. Okay. Use your own words and style, guys. That's the key. You want to pick 1 to 2 points per slide that we just showed, and you can watch this on video, but personalize it to you. Okay. Don't, do not say exactly what it says on the screen. That's not you. It's got to come from your gut. Okay. You want to keep your video under 2 minutes because that way it's a short reel. If you can do it under a minute, it's even better. And as it says there, speak from experience, not a script. If you don't have experience, you can speak from experience of using the card, not thinking about it. You can speak from experience of using dual pricing at a gas station and not thinking about it. I just traveled to Phoenix and back in my daughter's. I flew out there and drove back in her car, moving her home from college, and we had to pay for gas. I don't like that. My car is electric, so I charge it at home and charge it on the road, and I get free charging. So I don't even. It's so nice to not have to pay. I didn't lie. I did not like having to put my card in and pay for my transportation. I did not like it, but I did, and I didn't go in and pay cash. I had cash right in my visor in case we had some tolls, but I paid 4% more. I used my card at the pump and then went in and got a coffee and used my card again. Right. And so instead of using cash, wanted to track everything. People don't think about this. You don't think about it either. So we got to get over and we got to be bold enough in our videos to not laugh at them for having the concern, but you can speak from your story and your experience. I just told you my experience driving home and using the pay. You've got that experience. You don't just pay at the pump for convenience. I'm sorry, you don't pay at the pump because you're saving money. You pay at the pump for convenience. And never once have you said, I can't believe they charge more at the pump than inside. You've never thought that. You just do it. And guess what? You won't think it at the restaurants either. You'll see on a menu if you open it up and it says cheeseburger 1440 card 14 cash. Are you going to go, oh really? You're doing this to me, eh? No, you're not. Nobody does that. You may get 1 or 2 people out of every 1,000 who comments about it, but you're adding 3% to your profit. And I would just say this, team, as we end here, I would just say this. The logic, I'm looking at my whiteboard over here. This morning at 4:30 in the morning, I had an inspiration of how to teach customer acquisition on on funding better, and how you as an enroller, what you can do to help a brand new agent. Man, I came down here and I got my post and I started writing it all over it. It's going to be in the LMS. It's not a big diversion from what we're doing, but it systematizes it, makes it more simple. But right next to it over there is 6 out of 10 breaking even or losing money. Yeah, yeah. Why is that important? Because if you can take someone who's breaking even and you take 3% of their credit card sales and make it profit, they're no longer in that 60% that quick just because they're taking credit cards. And if they're doing $100,000 a month, that's 36 grand a year in profit you're putting in their pocket. 3% on average you're adding in profit. That's a real, again, if I came to you and you've been working full time somewhere and you are making 30,000 a year, let's say you're making 50,000 a year, but your bills are 50. So the end of the day, you can't take a vacation. You can't really invest into your home or your apartment, wherever you're living. You can't get a new car. You can't do anything right now because your month costs as much as your money. So you're in a lifestyle stuck, right? And if I said to you, we can give you a 3% raise tomorrow and it's pure profit to your family, and that 50,000 just became, 3%, 51,500. Is that right? Yeah. That's $1,500 a month. You can now go on, you can go away for a week with your family. You got a vacation now from that little bump. Well, imagine if it's 50,000 a month that you're doing in sales, which the average business is doing more than that. So 50,000 a month. Now you're adding 1,500 a month to the family income. Not 1,500 a year, but 1,500 a month. That's significant. So Lead with profit. Shooting videos, you don't need a video editor. You can literally look at your smartphone and you can talk to your smartphone, and then you upload right into YouTube, and then you do a reel right into your Instagram or do a reel right into your social Facebook page. David, I don't really have a following. Um, you don't need a big following. You do a reel on your Facebook page or your Instagram page, you'll have hundreds of viewers in 2 weeks. Thousands if the video gets a lot of shares, if one business owner tells another, tells another, tells another. You don't need to go build a YouTube page. You don't need to do any of that. That gal I told you about, Katina, who's in the top 5, her video's on Facebook. She's got Facebook videos. She just go do reels and talk and point. Get money now. And she had quote bubbles. She knew how to do that. They're still polling. They're still polling. They're still polling. Still gets clients just about every month. Am I not right, Morgan? I don't look at that report anymore, but when I was looking at it, she's getting a client every single month from videos done in 19 and 20. And we say, do videos. Go social, go social, go social. So go social. Okay, we've got someone's hand up. And if you're not sure how to do a video, go to YouTube and just say, hey, I want to do a reel. Show me how to do a reel. And it'll tell you what to do a reel. We're not real educators. We're not video editors. The point of the matter is do them, point to them. What do we got? Who's got some questions?
IBA, you can go ahead with your question.
Hi there. You hear me?
Loud and clear.
Okay, good. I had a question. If say like a restaurant goes with dual processing, are they required to put both prices on like their menu and everything, or is that just if they're surcharging?
We don't market surcharging because there's not compliant in so many states, and you can't
Yes.
take on certain cards. So dual pricing, yes. Not everyone's going to tell you that, but Visa has made it very clear, as has the state regulators. You must show, if you're going to show a price, it's got to either be the card price or it can be both prices. It cannot be the cash price. So when they go to dual pricing, they must show the card price on every menu. Now they can show just that one and say cash discount at checkout. What we recommend is show both prices. Show both prices. Even a grocery store, and we put it up in one of our trainings here that I'm sure you can find. We showed pictures of both prices, even in a grocery store. There's plenty of room to show both.
Okay. Okay. Thanks.
Yep. If someone tells you they don't need to show both, and they're showing their cash price, they're not compliant. They were at one time, but they're no longer compliant. And then you get to become an educator and say, I'm surprised your agent hasn't brought this up to you that there's been change. And you must show the card price now or both prices in order to be compliant. Who is your agent, by the way? And then it can open up the door for you becoming their agent or they becoming the agent for themselves. AJ, how you doing, buddy?
All right, pretty good.
Good.
I was wondering if you were going to be putting those slides that you just showed us in the resource center, not to copy, but to use as a reference to make sure I cover the key points in the video. Because that's what I've been doing is making videos. I've got 2 made already, and this is a good one to make a video on.
Amen. Amen. We're not going to put the slides. This is why we have too many. There's so much stuff that it's hard to find the key things. But this video is stored on the YouTube page, so you can go back and watch it there.
Okay.
We have been talking about putting speaker notes. I put the speaker notes up from Tuesday team building into the Facebook page. Maybe we'll take these and call them speaker notes and throw them into the Facebook page. But even that starts to get littered with stuff and it's hard to find stuff. So that's where these pro tips help. These are more like podcasts, right? That's good nuggets in here. So what I'd say is go watch the recording because otherwise it gets hard to keep the main thing the main thing.
Okay, I didn't realize you had that video on on your YouTube channel, so I'll go look for that.
Yeah, dacyoutube.com. Every one of these videos is stored there. It's being played there right now. In fact, we probably have as many people watching there as we do here. And then you get a lot more watches there after hours. dacyoutube.com. When you go there, you'll want to click on lives and you'll see all the lives that are recorded. Periodically, a recording won't work, so it's not guaranteed. That's why you want to be here when you can. But this one's streaming there right now.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
All right. Thank you. John's got his hand up. Go ahead, John.
Hello.
Hi.
Yeah. Basically, I had that same question that IBA had about showing the pricing.
Mhm.
Right. So at a restaurant, somebody has an $8 item that now has to say like $8.32,
Yep.
something like that. Do we have any examples of our customers, like pictures, like their menus, their processes, how other people are doing it?
Yeah, we've got it. One of the shows when we went through this, we've got a video. I don't think it's a PDF, but we can find those. But we do have images of grocery store, of menus, of all of them. Again, they can show one price if they want to, but and most people are choosing to show both. But
Okay.
you can show just one, but it's got to be the card price. And then
Okay.
you can have a big statement: cash payers pay less at checkout, or cash customers discount at checkout. It can say. So it is a change. Just like, I mean, when you move over, gas stations when they first started, they didn't like having to show both prices on the marquee. The marquee was only so big. So Visa said you don't have to show both, but you got to show the card price then. Show one if you want, but make sure you only show the card price and then say cash discount at checkout. So remember 20 years ago it would show $3 or $2.99 a gallon credit, right? And then $2.91 cash. And people always wanted to just put the cash one up there. And then Visa said, no, 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 no. You either
Okay.
going to show both or you're going to show the card only. And so now you don't even see the cash price on marquees anymore. You only see the credit card price. So
Yeah, I do remember seeing those two prices at
remember?
the gas
Yeah,
pumps for sure. So,
exactly. And
all
so
right,
that's
appreciate
that's
it.
the stage we're in now for restaurants. So you're going to get a little pushback. Gas stations didn't like it, but the savings was worth it, right? So they went to it, and now they just put their credit card price up there, and no one even thinks twice about it because they're all showing credit price. You go in and pay cash, you're going to pay less. Yep. Okay. And by the way, guys, these are stories. Like that story you just heard is a story you could tell to a business owner. Like, man, I want to show both prices. You don't have to show both. Gas stations don't, but you have to. Visa requires you show the card price on your menu. Then, just if you're only going to do one, that's cool. You choose. Well, I got to print all new menus. Okay, well, until then, we can get you transitioned over, but you're going to save $3,200 a month. What's your menus cost? You know, it's not that hard. Remember when COVID came through and you couldn't even use menus? I mean, this isn't a huge deal. This isn't a deal breaker. It's an inconvenience, yes, but it's not a deal breaker. And be bold enough to say things like that to people in a polite way. You endured through COVID when you couldn't even use a menu. You had to get QR codes and all new credit card readers, touch free, everything. And Christian's got his hand up. I believe Christian. Yes, go ahead.
Sorry, I got to pull over here real quick so you don't hear the road noise.
That's all right.
I actually love being part of your group. I was one of those gas station owners. I owned a gas station for 18 years, so I can totally relate to the questions you may have. But I want to tell everybody that when you have a store owner who says, well, I got to go price everything all over again, I don't want to do that. I can tell you right now that 80% of all my transactions on a daily basis was credit card. So for me to worry about that 20% in cash it doesn't make any sense. The math doesn't add up. It's still better to have a choice between cash, credit, discount. And it's so easy for any register, whether they're old or new, to add that discount key on there for someone who wants to pay cash. One, mentally, they walk away and they see discount button. They see the discount. They actually see the savings. So there's a benefit to that for that cash customer. Mentally, they see the benefit. The credit card customer, just like you say, David, they're in and out. They just want to be fast and get out. They don't really care about it. I've always been that way with my credit cards. It's a convenience. But just want to let people know, don't let a store owner say, well, I don't want to change all my prices. Ask them the ratio, the cash versus credit. And I can guarantee you it's way higher in credit every day.
Yes. And it's worth it, right?
Absolutely. I wish I would have known this back in the day. I sold mine in 2021. If this would have been what you're offering today versus what they were doing downstate in Metro Detroit, I live in Gaylord area, Michigan.
Wow.
I just didn't want to do it the way they did it. Today, I'd want to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, it's becoming more, it's more receptive. You didn't mind doing it at the pump, right? You didn't mind the credit card price at the pump because everyone else was as well. But in store, Gaylord, I hope you guys survived the ice storm you had. Morgan, who works with DAC, lives in Traverse City. She works out of Traverse City. We're right up the road. We used to have a place in Lewiston, right down the road from you too. So we're downstate. I'm near Milford, Michigan, and well, maybe one day when you're down here, we go have a coffee or something. But thanks for sharing that story, man. Anyone who's here, that's a great pro tip right there. Another example of a store owner right there who experienced this themselves. Just have the boldness. You've got the goods. All right, guys, that's it for today. I appreciate you all. We'll see you tomorrow on the agent update call, and there's going to be some great pro tips on that. But between now and then, tonight's BizOp overview, 7:30, McGuire and Nick going to bring the house down. The presentation's awesome. Slides been updated a little bit. You're going to see a great presentation tonight. So anyone you have who's looking for a way to make extra money or career change, and they want to get at the six-figure funding opportunity, it's available here. Game plan is real, and payment processing residual comes right behind it. So God bless you all. Thanks for being here today, and we'll see you all.